Pricing your coaching can feel like one of the hardest parts of building your business. You don't want to charge too much that nobody buys, but you also don't want to charge too little that you are undervalued. And you really don't want to put people off. So you end up somewhere in the middle, hoping it feels just about right. And often that is where things can start to feel really difficult. If we haven't met before, I'm Lott, a business coach, and I help qualified coaches get clients with honesty, not hype. I've helped hundreds of people to grow their business now and really excited to help you today. I'm fairly new on YouTube, so I would really appreciate if you hit subscribe and like this video and even bonus points for commenting. It would be so appreciated. And at the moment, while I'm new in my first month on YouTube, I will do a draw. So anyone that has commented and liked and subscribed, I will add your name to a hat and do a draw for a one-on-one session with me. So do hit like, subscribe. I will really appreciate that. In this episode, I want to talk about pricing your coaching services, how to think about it, but also how to make it sustainable for you. We'll also talk about how to move away from guessing what your price should be to making something so much clearer. Pricing can feel really hard for a few different reasons. One is confidence. Maybe you're asking yourself, am I worth this price? Will people really pay this? And what if they say no or think I'm greedy? And the second is a lack of clarity because your offer isn't fully clear and therefore pricing becomes really hard. So instead of being grounded in something useful, it can become a bit like guesswork. So here's a way you can start somewhere practical with your actual numbers and goals. One of the biggest shifts for me was understanding what I actually needed to generate in my business. So let's say, for example, you want to make £5,000 a month and you're charging £250 per client per month. That means you need 20 clients to reach your goal. And when you see it like that, you can start to ask different questions, such as, do I want to work with 20 clients at a time? Do I have the capacity for that? Is that the sort of business I am building? And sometimes the answer to these questions is no. And that is where pricing becomes a design decision, not just a number. So if instead you were charging £1,250 per client per month, you would only need 4 clients to reach that same £5,000 per month. And therefore, everything changes. Less time in your calendar, less pressure, more energy for each client, and often better results for those clients as well. And this is where I think pricing becomes really interesting because it's not just about what you charge, it's about how you want your business to feel and how you want to position yourself in the marketplace. This doesn't mean you can just charge more without changing anything else, because higher prices need to be supported by a clear and valuable offer. And this is where many coaches get stuck with going in with super high prices, but maybe you haven't got the proof yet, or your messaging clear, or the value isn't obvious, so it feels harder to sell. So this is where I would bring in a simple structure. 3 things to focus on here. So the first is to clarify your promise. So who do you help? What do you help them with? And what is the result that they actually want? Once this offer promise is clearer, it's easy for them to see the value and it's easy for you to price on that value. Second, create your package. So what does the journey actually look like? What are you helping them move through? And what support do they get in terms of logistics as well? You might also want to consider how this is different from other options they might be considering at the moment too. And the third one is to choose your price. And this is where you're going to look at the value of the results that we talked about earlier, your time and your energy, your business model as to whether you're offering one-on-one membership, group, what that looks like. Then you are going to test it and be committed to refining it as you go. You don't need to get perfect straight away. You can raise your prices as your confidence grows and as your proof compounds as well. This is how I've done it in my business, and I've just gone up little by little, maybe £250 per time, while my confidence has grown and as I've gathered more case studies from clients. So it's a really great way of doing it for your nervous system as well, because you don't get to that place where you've tried to have this big hike. Therefore, you don't want to show up and market your business anymore. So go easy with all of this. It is an internal thing as well as an external one. Because underneath all of this, there is that deeper shift, which is moving from what will people pay to what is this actually worth? And what kind of business do I want to build? When you say the first question, you tend to underprice. When you move into the second question, you start to build something more sustainable for you. For me, this has always been really important because I have super limited hours, school hours only, which is essentially 4 hours a day, and term time only as well, which has meant my time is really limited. So my pricing and business model has grown to support that. Little by little, I didn't start doing group work. Usually you need to do one-on-one to build that audience and build that momentum. But eventually it is possible for you to really think about what you need to grow your business sustainably and make it work for your life. A few things I see often are charging low prices to feel more comfortable, trying to compete on price. I would never recommend that. Avoiding talking about results that you can provide to people, and keeping the offer too vague. All of these make pricing harder, not easier. So if pricing has been something you have been unsure about, let's bring it back to this. What do you want your business to generate in terms of income? And how many clients do you actually want to work with? Now ask yourself, how can your pricing support that? Because pricing isn't just a number, it's really part of your business design as well. If you would like more support with this, I have a blog post which breaks this down in way more detail on my website. I will share the link in the description or the show notes below. And thank you for being here today. I hope this was helpful. And like I always say, trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be the wise gardener who keeps on watering the seed.